Real Madrid are having an interesting summer window so far, as they have lost Sergio Ramos on a free and are about to lose Rafael Varane to United. They need to have a good window to continue with their Spanish and European success. If they do not, this could lead to a spiral that could continue to see Real Madrid underperform on the biggest stages. They have 3 transfer needs this summer, which include a center back, a young future midfield option, and a winger. The first need that Real Madrid need this summer transfer window is a center half option. They've already lost their legend in Sergio Ramos on a free, and Rafael Varane will be sold to United in the next few days. They also did sign David Alaba on a free, who could play center half. However, he has stated his desire to play center midfield, so they would be going into the next season with Nacho Fernandez and Eder Militao as their back line, and that would not be that good. They need to purchase another center back option to have success. Jules Koundé has had a very good season this past year with Sevilla, as he was one of their best center backs in La Liga. He would have a very easy transition into a Real Madrid side, as he is used to how La Liga functions and how these teams like to play. He is a very solid ball-playing defender with great speed and recovery ability. He shows his solid ball-playing ability with his .84 shot-creating actions, .89 dribbles completed, 4.16 progressive passes, and 5.54 progressive carries per 90. The 22-year-old Perugian center back would be an amazing choice to replace Varane in this Real Madrid side and would cost around 60 million euros. Milan Skriniar has been a very dominant center half in the Serie A over the past 4 seasons and has continued to show great skills and ability. His best aspect of his game is his ball-playing attribute. Last season he showed this off with his 3.93 progressive passes and 4.49 progressive carries per 90. The 26-year-old Slovakian defender will cost Madrid 60 million euros for his services. Pau Torres is another center half who has been doing very well in La Liga and has proven his ability to be a dominant player at that level. He would have a very easy transition into Real Madrid, and he would have a great option for them. Just like Koundé and Skriniar, he is also an excellent ball-playing defender. He shows this with his 4.06 progressive passes and 4.61 progressive carries per 90. He could improve his defensive aspects of his game, but he is a great option. The 24-year-old has a market value of 50 million euros, which will be worth it for his ability. Christian Romero is another player that developed into a very good player after his time at Atalanta. At Atalanta, he showed his excellent defensive ability. He showed this with 2.9 tackles, 2.68 interceptions, and 3.93 aerials won per 90. He is definitely the best defender out of these options. However, his ball-playing side could use some work. He had 2.41 progressive passes and 2.47 progressive carries per 90, which is not bad, but comparable to the other 3, it isn't as good. The 23-year-old Argentine defender will cost 35 million euros for his services. Real Madrid are coming up on losing 2 of their long-time midfield options to retirement in Modric and Kroos. They have some seasons left, but they are getting older and older, and they could use a refresh at this position. I think this summer, they could get a younger option that could also bring some production now. For this, I will be only mentioning players 23 years old and younger. Ryan Gravenberch is an amazing Dutch talent who has been playing for Ajax. This past season, he finally gained a starting spot in the first team, and he really showed his great ability and potential. He showed this with 5.9 progressive passes, 6.54 progressive carries, and 1.57 dribbles completed per 90. He has great attacking ability and really helps teams by adding another attacking element to matches. At just 19, he will cost around 33 million euros for his services. Renato Sanchez has had an up-and-down career, but it seems like the former Golden Boy winner finally has shown the world he is here to stay. At Lille and for Portugal, he showed great ability by dominating in the midfield, helping in attack and holding onto possession. He showed this with 2.89 shot-creating actions, 6.65 progressive passes, 7.75 progressive carries, and 2.54 dribbles completed per 90. He is a little older than Gravenberch, as he is just 23 years old. However, he is still young, and he would only cost 30 million euros. EDUARDO CAMAVINGA is a prodigy. Many people believe he will be the next great world-class midfield talent, and he definitely has the potential to do that. He was a Rennes regular last season. It really showed his talent on the world stage. He is sensational for his age, shown by his 6.43 progressive carries, 1.98 dribbles completed, and 3.89 tackles per 90. He could use some work in the passing part of the game, but everywhere else he is sensational. The 18-year-old Perugian has a market value of 55 million euros. KOKCU is the least known option on this list. However, he's a real talent and showed it last year with Feyenoord. He dominated games from midfield, with this team showing great attacking intent. He did this with 2.83 shot-creating actions, 6.56 progressive passes, 6.56 progressive carries, and 1.42 dribbles completed per 90. At just 20 years old, he has a market value of 12 million euros. That would be a bargain for what potential he has. Arguably, Real Madrid's worst position right now is winger. Eden Hazard cannot stay healthy, Vinicius Jr. has no finishing ability, Rodrigo is still too young to tell, Marco Asensio constantly disappoints, and Gareth Bale does not want to play for this team. I think a newer option at either wing could help this team immensely. Kingsley Coman has been a solid winger option at Bayern for a couple of years now. However, he finds it hard to get any playtime. I think a move would be best for him and the team, and Real Madrid should swoop in. Last season he scored 5 goals and had 10 assists. He also added that to 4.35 shot creating actions, 10.43 progressive carries, and 3.47 dribbles completed per 90. At 25 years old, the Parisian winger has a market value of 65 million euros. Pedro Neto had a very good season last year for Wolves, and has real ability and potential about him. Last season he scored 5 goals and had 6 assists. He also added that to 3.85 shot creating actions, 9.46 progressive carries, and 2.55 dribbles completed per 90. I think he played better than what the stats show, as his teams fell apart after the Jimenez injury, which hurt his stats. At 21 years old, the Portuguese winger has a value of 35 million euros. Jack Grealish is a very interesting and underrated option for Madrid. He will likely want to move to a Premier League club. However, if Real Madrid come knocking, most people will give them a listen. Last season he scored 6 goals and had 10 assists, which he added to 6.17 shot creating actions, 6.76 progressive passes, 12.38 progressive carries, and 2.45 dribbles completed per 90. His stats are insane, and he is definitely a top left wing option in the world. At 25 years old, he has a market value of 65 million euros.